This is the Blast Off to Reading program. It's for students ages 7 to 13. It's an Orton Gillingham program, so every sound and rule is taught. All of the sounds are on the back cover, okay, and it's comprised of lessons and exercises, and it also has a web app that goes with it for that multisensory component that's very key to an Orton Gillingham program. All right, so I'm going to go through a lesson to give you an idea of how this program is laid out. Okay, so once you sign on to the website, it'll take you right to your teacher dashboard. Okay, so here I am on my dashboard. Okay, first, before you begin, you should have the students entered into your classroom. So I have 2 here. Okay, and once you purchase the app, it'll be right here on your dashboard, and then you have to assign your students to the app. So I had 1 license, so I assigned 1 license to one of the students. When you assign an app to a student, then when they go into their student dashboard, they'll see that app. And it's important to do this because when they do the activities, they'll earn coins. And in that dashboard, there's a fun zone that they can go and play games and do activities on with the coins that they've earned. Okay. So the first thing that you should do when you meet with your student is go through the flashcards up until the point that you are in the program. So let's say we're on lesson 4. Okay, open up the app. This is the app from my teacher dashboard. It's not from the student dashboard. So any coins that are earned or any data collected is just going to be on my account, not the students in this case. So I hit Teacher Tools, Flashcards, and I go to the beginning. Okay, so first we're going to practice the short vowels, and then some high frequency words for lesson 2, and then we get to lesson 4. So we stop there because that's where we're at. Now you want to check the dictations that your student did prior to meeting with you. This is like homework. They're like short little spelling tests that they do. Okay, so here we are. I would open up another tab, which I have here. And when you go to App Assignments, and you go to your student, you could click on Show Progress. This incidentally shows you all of the progress that the student did while using the app. So you can see, here's all the lessons. Goes all the way down. Okay, and here's sounds identified, words read in isolation, words spelled, and sentences completed. So here on lesson 2, the student read 10 words correct and 2 words incorrect. You could even click on this and you could see exactly what was read incorrectly. So in this case, the word what was read, who was read 4 times correctly, 2 times incorrectly. Okay, so aside from that, we're back onto dictation. So I just wanted to show you how you could see the progress of your student. So go into View Dictations. Okay, so on the bottom here, it'll just show you all of the lessons that your student did with the dictations. So in this case, the student only did 1 lesson for dictations, which is lesson 3. And that's what we want to go over here. So you click Enter. All right, so here are all of the words. So there's 10 words and 3 sentences. And you can see what the student read correctly and incorrectly. All right, so you might want to take some of those words. So here we have tip and pin, and go over to your letter tiles and just work with those words with the student. So have them, write out the words on the board with the letter tiles. Okay, so if you're further into the program, there's a sound chart here. So when you start doing sounds, you could use that. Okay, and just incidentally, you could always highlight things to move them around. Whatever you capture in the box, you could move it. Okay, and here's a way to get rid of them. Okay, and there's also blends, which is what we're going to be working on in this lesson. Okay, so once you go through the dictations with the student, the next thing to do is go to the lesson. Okay, so here we are at lesson 4, which is consonant blends. Okay, so if you see the little alien guy here, and he tells you some hints and things to remember. So here, he's reminding you to review the flashcards, which we did, check the dictations from the previous lessons, which we did, and to do warm-ups. Okay, so you could always do warm-ups if you have the time. Okay, and now we're going to read what's here to the student, and then go through the list of words. Sometimes it's helpful to cover up the words or pieces of the words with like a finger or your or a business card, something like that. So go through the words. You could help them out. It's just, sometimes it's overwhelming if the list is kind of long, so you might want to not do all of them. Okay, and then you do the exercises with the student. Okay, if you're a teacher working with a group of students, you should all do this together. This is not meant for the student to do independently. Okay, so these are the exercises. Okay, and then at the end, oops. All right, so this is still going. All right, so we have ending blends. Okay, and once you get to the end of the lesson, you just tell your student they have to do the dictations for that lesson. Usually they do those dictations on their own time without you, and it's right on the app. Okay, so back to the app. So here I am. Okay, I'm going to pick the lesson. Okay, I'm going to do consonant blends, the beginning blends. Maybe I'll throw ending blends in there too. Oh, I just want to go back to this. So as you pick the lessons, they're up here in the corner so you can see them. You can combine lessons. So I would advise when you're working with a student after a lesson is just work on the lesson at hand. But sometimes, like in this case, the lesson's broken up. So it's really up to you if you want to do all of those sections. Like for lesson 5, you have A, B, and C. So you have to kind of feel out your student. You might want to do it in parts. Okay, so now the student could do the activities. Now if you're working with a group of students, this is a good time for the students to work on their own while you make the rounds and help the kids who need extra help. If you're working one-on-one, you could sit there and help the student as they do the activities. So I'm just going to go quickly through the activities so you can get an idea. So there's Moore's mission.
Your mission is to collect the sounds you hear. Trot, as in trot.
Okay, so you just collect the sounds. Okay. Asteroid drop. You could select sounds or words. Let's do words.
Task.
Okay, so here we're going to pause it. Okay, so most of the activities have a pause button. So if your student is overwhelmed, they can stop so they can have some time to look for the answers. There's also a light bulb, so it'll highlight the answer for you for a limited time. Okay, so I'm going to unpause it. And if you ever forget or you can't hear the word correctly, you could click the speaker to repeat the word. Sometimes some words sound similar, so it really does help if the volume is turned up or if the student has headphones. The headphones really help a lot. Okay, so what's the word?
Task. Keep going.
Okay, complete the sentences.
Nice.
Okay, and this gives you a chance to read the sentence with your student before moving on to the next question. Okay, and the matching game.
Turns trying to find matches.
Okay, so with the matching game, it has to be done with an instructor present. So
check it.
You take turns flipping the cards over, but you have to make sure that the student reads the words out loud because that's the whole point, is decoding the words in isolation. And then you can click the match button to see if it's a match. Word builder.
Your mission is to connect the space modules by building the word you hear. Grab. Add.
If you select the tiles, you'll hear the sounds.
Bum. Good job. Add. Bum. Grab. Clam.
Again, if you click the speaker,
Clam.
you could rehear the word. Okay, and the last activity is the sentence scramble.
Your mission is to create the sentence by dragging the words under the yellow line.
Okay, so hit the play button.
He sent the list to me.
And you just recreate that sentence underneath the yellow line. He sent.
Great job.
Okay, and one thing I do want to point out is if you combine lessons during the activities, either on the side or on the top, it'll tell you which lesson, and in this case it tells you the question, because if you can't get on your computer read to you, you could have the list sent to an email. But most browsers do have the audio, so you will hear the sentence. Okay, so here's the dictations. This is what your student will see. So we're going to hit, it's already on lesson 4. Hit go. Okay, and these were already entered in. These would normally be blank, and you would just listen
Slap.
to the
A
words.
slap is a sharp blow with an open hand. Slap.
Okay, and your student
Slip.
can pause
Try not to slip.
or
on
stop.
the ice.
Okay, and if you go all the way down, you get to some sentences. Okay, and make sure your student saves their work, so by clicking that. Okay, so when you go to the student progress, you'll see all of the words and sentences that the student entered as we saw in the beginning. Okay, so that's basically the whole program. So it's flashcards, go through the dictations, you do the lesson and the exercises, and then you do the activities with the app. So if you're a teacher teaching to a classroom with a smartboard, I recommend the lesson slides. If you're also teaching remotely, I also recommend the lesson slides because you could use screen sharing software. And then you just use the app, and that's basically it. So as you can see, this is a really easy to use program for teaching your dyslexic student how to read. You should be consistent. You should do it no less than twice a week. The best would be every day of the week if you can. And it will guide you, and within weeks, your student will improve their reading.